Hi everyone, welcome back to Caseborough. Today I wanted to make a video sharing my experiences at this year's SIBF, or the Seoul International Book Fair. So SIBF is the annual biggest bookish event that happens here in Korea. This year it happened between June 23rd to June 28th last month. So for about a week. And usually at these events, a bunch of medium to larger publishers gather with their booths, introducing their new releases or older releases but repackaged, and other bookish items to sell them to the larger public that attend the event. In the SIBF, book signings by authors also tend to happen, as well as discussions and lectures on relevant topics. So for this year, I attended the event on Tuesday, so that was June 24th. So basically the second day. As you can see in this photograph that I'll be posting soon. There were really a lot of people in this event. The ticketing for this event was quite fierce, especially when I tried to get early tickets, which were half price. And I guess I was really lucky to get the events ticket at half price for early bird tickets. And I also one of the quite curious thing was that I arrived at this event at 7 a.m. because I heard that there was quite a crowd. And so basically the event actually starts at 10 a.m. So I had arrived at the event 3 hours earlier, but still there was a long line in front of me as well as behind me. I guess, sorry for the photos. I would have taken videos if I had more confidence in my video taking skills. But also I didn't really want to have to blur out thousands of people's faces on the videos. So as I said, I had arrived at the event about 3 hours before the start of the event. So I waited for about 2.5 hours, and at about 9:30 a.m. I was able to receive my ticket bracelets that confirmed my entry into the event. And then at about 10 a.m. When the event started, I was able to get into the event pretty quickly. The line moved pretty quickly, so that was good. As you can see in the photographs, the SIBF was a pretty big event. So if any of you guys lived in Korea, you probably know this place, but the event actually happened at COEX, and there is a conference room in COEX. The event took place in 2 conference rooms, so it was a pretty big event. I think the best part of the day was seeing all these booths that the publishers had set up. So basically these publishers had specific themes that they were using to set up their booths. So there was a publisher organized as an omakase, a publisher that had created its whole booth in cardboard paper, or a blue booth created by a publisher called Bookwave, etc. So for this video, I also wanted to do a book haul of all the books that I got from this event. So, and I also got some bookish items as well. First I got some keycaps as a gift for my mother, for myself and my mother. And I also received a bunch of stickers and also bookmarks from the booth, from the publisher's booth that I visited. But to introduce the books that I actually got. So first I attended the booth by publisher that is named Minumsa, and here I got these 3 books. So Minumsa is a pretty large famous publisher here in Korea, and they have a series called World Best Books. So this is a series kind of similar to Penguin and Oxford University's World Books series, and from that series I got these two books. So this first one is called The Story of the World Literature series. So it is basically a book that introduces how the editors like pick and choose what books to introduce into the series, and how the books get translated, and how the books are edited and created in the end. So I thought this would be a really great meta narrative of how these books in this series are published. So I got this book, and I also think the hologram, is it called hologram? I don't know. The rainbow effect on this cover looks pretty neat as well. And this book, this book is called Amrok River Flows, and it was written by Birok Lee, a Korean German author. From what I know, this novel is a autobiographical novel by this author, so it kind of is a tale of Korean diaspora. I got this book because this was a recover of the most recent book that was published in this in Minamsa's World Literature series. And the reason this is a recover is basically because, so basically like this is the standard cover of the books in the Minamsa's World Literature series. So usually there is like a picture above here, and then the title, author, and the rest of the cover is white. But this recovered version of this book is wrapped in hanji, Korean traditional paper, and then there's also this like yellow cover. I think this is still wrapped because hanji can also get ripped or like stained pretty easily. So I think I'm going to be ripping this cover off when I actually begin to read this book. The third book that I got from Minamsa is not actually a book, but it's this 60th edition of Litter, which is a literary magazine published in Minamsa. I know that Litter tends to contain interviews with pretty interesting literary figures, and also contain writings from new and old authors. So I'm really excited to dive into this edition. I also love the pink cover as well. And the second booth that I attended was this booth created by the publisher Hubble, which focuses on sci-fi novels. From Hubble, I got this very slim edition of poetry, and it is like a book of poetry from the sci-fi genre. I have read quite a few sci-fi genre because I love this genre, but I don't think I have ever read poetry from sci-fi, so I'm quite interested in reading this book. And I also like the title, which is quite casual in like tone. 뭐 사랑도 있겠고 인간 고유의 특성. So like it is translated, I guess the title could be, well, I guess there is also love and other types of characteristics unique to humans. And and I think the cover is like really pretty as well. I guess like it's the galaxy. And finally, I visited the booth created by publisher 문학동네. 문학동네, this year, 문학동네's poetry series reached its 15th year anniversary. So in celebration of that anniversary, 문학동네 came up with special covers for three poets that other poets and their peers had chosen as the best in the series, And this is one of them. This is a poetry collection by the authors Ho Soo-kyung, who, if I'm not mistaken, have actually recently passed away. And this cover, I think, looks really nice because there's a title there and the author's name, but also there is this like there are these like floating verses in this cover as well, which look really nice. I've never read read verses from this author, this poet Ho Soo-kyung, so I'm really excited to get into the book. And the second poetry book that I got from 문학 동네 from the same series was this book by the poet collecting the poems of the poet 태옥이. The title of this like titular poem is called 검은 사슴은 이렇게 말했을 거다. The black deer would have said this. So I'm guessing that 태옥이's poem, I'm guessing, is the poet's imagination of what the black deer would have responded to the poet. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my recap of my experiences at the SIBF this year. I will end the video with a scrapbook journal page that I decorated with some of the flyers some of the flyers and stickers that I received from the event. And enjoy the rest of the week and come back to Kaysborough. Bye!